Guys, so I was munching on my chocolate mousse I just made yesterday. I'm about to make the chocolate mousse video, because if you didn't know, I have an Instagram channel with cooking videos. I'm a chef, and I also have a six-pack. So I make all those videos about how to eat whatever you want and still be fit. But I want you to realize that although it's the dream, right? The dream lifestyle of being fit and eating whatever you want, it's not as easy as you would think. Because every time I'm munching on something like this, like, I'm enjoying the moment. It's fucking delicious. But I just know it's not going in the right direction for my mind. So I want to talk about this today. How the fact that eating those delicious things, right? The sweet things, super fat things with rancid fats and shit like this, it's delicious. But it never makes you feel good once you're done eating them. Like, you know that it's not, when you eat shit like this, unhealthy things, it's not only that it's going to make you fat. And if you've lived your whole life like this, of just like not really being into fitness, not caring about what you eat, you might tell yourself that actually, it's okay, I don't need to be fit. I don't have to eat healthy because I don't need to be fit. Maybe you're a doctor, or maybe you're a lawyer and you think, I don't need to be fit, right? Depending on your jobs, it really has an impact on how you feel like this. Like, I don't need to be fit because my lifestyle doesn't require me to be fit. So the problem with thinking like this is that you never understand. And you might never understand until you make the change that food doesn't only impact your body, your physique, and how you look like, your sexiness. It affects how your brain works. How your brain works completely. You are what you eat is not only a matter of your body. It's a matter of your brain. If you eat shit junk food, your brain will be junk. And I stress this, it's very important that you listen to this fucking video. It's actually a very important one. This idea I'm trying to communicate, although it's straight out the top of my mind, right? I just had the idea and turned on the camera. So I haven't prepared anything. I'll see how it flows out. The thing is, when you eat all those tasty things, the chocolate, it is fucking delicious. Like, I love it. But the problem is, every time I eat them, I know that, fuck, I'm going to feel lazy in a few hours. It's something I can predict. When you eat shit, when you eat junk food, fat food, sugar food, you might never realize it if you've never been in this lifestyle, but every time you have your lunch and you have sugar at the end of your lunch, or you have pasta in your lunch, you have bread in your lunch, you have rice in your lunch, every single time you will feel lazy in 3 hours, 4 hours. And people like to call it, fancy, as if it's your blood sugar level. You will have a blood sugar level crash in 4 hours. They say it like this, as if, they're so intelligent and they understand what's happening. But then the only reply to this is to have more sugar in 3 hours. They have a snack later on and, it's okay, I will spike my blood sugar again so I don't have a crash out. And they live by this system of, I need sugar, I need sugar, I need sugar for my brain to keep working, I need sugar to keep going through the day and keep working. Doing this is the most unsustainable way to go about life, because it's going to make you fat, it's going to make you stressed out, it's going to make you have fucking heart issues and cholesterol issues. Living with sugar all throughout your life, every day, I'm making the videos, I'm making the fucking chocolate mousse, I'm making the brownie, I'm making the crepes, I'm making the crepes with Nutella, I'm making the ice cream, I make some some savory things too, like salty, like, what's the name of the thing? Watermelon and feta salad, that's very nice. And other things. But anytime you make savory things, there's also a very high chance that you're going to make carbs. I made the burger. I had to make big buns with, actually it's a recipe of buns with which there's fucking potato in it. So it's extra like bouncy when you push on it because of the potato starch. It's also twice the amount of carbs. It's 2 different types of carbs in the bun, right? Which, you know, you're making an extra delicious bun. But it's a fucking bomb for your metabolism. It's 2 different types of carbs. So, first of all, an excess of carbs, not even excess, just carbs in general, are going to inflame your system. That's what makes you lazy later on. Your blood sugar spike is because of the carbs bombarding your system, and then for the time that you have the blood sugar in you, the sugar in your blood, you're fine, but once it stresses out, you feel lazy as fuck, and then you need more sugar. And then the fact that it's 2 different types of starches, makes that for your system, you're going to be digesting 2 different things, which is going to slow down your metabolism, give you even more brain fog, even more inflammation in your system. It's not only about the sugar in foods. When you eat a potato, when you eat fries, you're not just putting fuel in your system and then you have energy. That's not as easy as that. If you eat fries, you want to know what happens. You're consuming potatoes, so sugars, and rancid oils. Rancid oils, which have been in the deep fryer for a very long time. If you're in a restaurant, probably the deep fryer hasn't been washed in like over 48 hours. So the oil is carcinogenic, probably. And if it's not, then the oil's been there for only 8 hours, so it's still carcinogenic. Because this is another discussion, it's about seed oils and animal fats. I'll talk about it later on. But fries are carcinogenic fats and sugars. Now, once you digest them, first of all, you're going to break down the potato, which is going to get in your system fast. But the thing is, if it was only potato, then it would get in your system fast. But because you're consuming with it rancid fats, the digestion of the potatoes is so much slower. And then you're consuming those fats, which are depleted of nutrients. If they were raw fats, like seed oils, they say seed oils are unhealthy. If the seed oils is raw, it's actually not that bad. It has a lot of nutrients. But because it's rancid and boiled, not boiled, but heated up to 180 degrees Celsius and kept at this temperature for hours, it's completely depleted of nutrients. It's only fat that's rancid, that has no other purpose than making you fat and give you like fucking heart issues, blood level, cholesterol issues and stuff like this, because it's just depleted of anything. It's only the fat that's going to make you fat. When you consume raw fats, you're supposed to be consuming so many different minerals from it. The vitamins, the omegas, they're making you healthy if you eat them raw. But if you eat fries, you're eating destroyed fats and potato, which both make you fat, right? So first of all, you're slowing down your metabolism with those destroyed fats. And then the sugar from the potatoes. Now what happens with sugars? It's something that people don't understand, don't talk about, as if it was normal to be eating cereals and stuff like this. As you might have heard in some of my previous videos, I said that I don't think humans should be eating grains. That goes about grains, about starches in general, like potatoes. We have to cook them to eat them, right? So we're not meant to eat them raw. I don't think humans are meant to eat any starches, because in those types of food, right, when you consume them, they're so full of sugars. And the thing is, we can't eat them raw because they're too hard to digest for us. So we have to cook them completely to break them down and to be able to digest them, which means that we make them easy to digest, so those foods with a lot of sugar in them become easily absorbed by our system. Which means this excess sugar, it's an excessive amount of sugar every time. Bread, too much sugar in bread. Like, you don't think about it because it's not sweet. But it's just a fucking bowl of carbs. The dough is a bowl of carbs. That when you eat it, you consume it, you break down the water, you absorb it, and all the carbs just come as sugar straight to your system. And when you're eating carbs, Don't tell me that you just eat a bite-sized amount and that's it. You have to see it just like white sugar, right? If you consume white sugar, you wouldn't want to consume more than a teaspoon, right? Because you would tell yourself it's too much, right? You know that sugar is unhealthy. More than a teaspoon at once is probably just way too much. Well, if you eat pasta, you should see it as sugar as well. If you're going to eat pasta, you're probably going to eat a big ass dish, especially if you made it yourself. So it's going to be a lot of pasta that's going to, it's sugar, right? So you need to see it as a whole bunch of sugar that's going to be thrown into your system just like this. That was never meant to happen naturally, right? Because we were never able to consume all this wheat. It's wheat. See it as, sometimes I cook myself like a kilo of pasta when it's cooked. A kilo, so when it's raw, it's like 400 grams, like 300, 400 grams. So you need to see it, 300 grams of wheat. What is 300 grams of wheat? It's a big amount of fucking wheat. You are not able as a human to digest even 10 grams of wheat. You would just shit it out as a whole piece. It would just go through, slow down your metabolism because you didn't manage to digest it, and then get out the other end. Now, 300 grams of it is a lot of fucking sugar that you're putting straight into your veins, basically. You're cooking it to make it easier to digest, and because it's easy to digest, you absorb it fast, and it goes into your blood. So your blood sugar increases super fast. Within 30 minutes to an hour, this whole 300 grams of sugar is in your system, in your blood. So that's what makes you lazy. That's what gives you brain fog. That's what is so unhealthy about food. It's not that, it's just junk food, it's unhealthy, and it makes you fat. It's because it's a lot of sugar that's going straight into your veins at a speed that's not natural. And if it's fat, same for fats, the most dangerous thing about fats is that we're eating fats that are depleted of their fucking nutrients because they're overcooked. If you're going to eat fats, definitely eat raw fats, like raw butter, raw olive oil, and stuff like this. This is going to be much healthier for you, like avocado. But if you eat fats that are cooked and depleted of their fucking nutrients, they are going to give you heart issues, cholesterol issues. So people get fat because they consume too much rancid fats. So because it's rancid, what does it do? Fats, if they had all the nutrients, they should be helping you promote hormones production to make you have a healthy, fucking balanced amount of hormones. But because you're consuming a lot of rancid fats, you're consuming all those fats that don't help you produce hormones because they're dead. There's no nutrients in them. I say no nutrients. There's probably like 30% of the amount of nutrients there should be if it was raw, right? You probably killed 70% by heating it up, cooking it up. So in the end, you're consuming 70% of raw oil, so just fat that's going straight into your fat. And 30% of it might help you with your like wellness a little bit, but in most cases, it's not, because you're going to be eating a lot of fat from deep fried stuff, which is cooked at way too high temperatures. So you need to stop seeing food as just unhealthy, junk food and stuff like this. Stop with the label, You just need to see that what it truly is. Pasta is sugar. Sugar that if you want to eat this pasta, you have to cook it all the way through. By the way, if you cook it al dente, it's going to slow down your metabolism and reduce the absorption because you're not going to be able to digest it as much. If you want to consume all your pasta, all the sugar from your pasta and feel best, you should cook it all the way through. Anyway, you have to cook your pasta all the way through to be able to absorb the sugar from it. And then once you have it in your stomach and you're able to digest it and absorb it, you absorb it so fast because it's been broken down that you just bombard yourself with sugar afterwards. And that's what's making you inflamed. People on Instagram keep talking about, oh, sugar gives inflammation, fat gives inflammation, but people don't understand what it means. It's because if you bombard your system with 300 grams of sugar within 1 hour of digesting your pasta, it's just everywhere. You just imagine you scooping 300 grams of sugar. It's a lot of fucking sugar. And you just throw it into your blood. Do you understand how much sugar this is? That's making you inflamed as fuck and giving you issues everywhere. Not just making you lazy, but slowing down your brain at a crazy pace. This is so important, which is why I'm making this video, because I made the video, it's going to get me views, it's going to get me followers, the business is going in the right direction, blah, blah, blah. But then I am in front of it, I'm about to eat it, and I'm like, fuck, I'm going to feel like shit. In 2 hours, I'm not going to be productive. I'm going to be lazy as fuck. Which is why, by the way, when I make those cooking videos, I don't make them in the morning, I don't make them for lunch, I make them in the evening. So I have time to work during the day and do as much as I can before slowing down my metabolism with this kind of bullshit. Because we're humans, right? We want to eat the tasty things, we want the bullshit. A lot of people will tell you, how is life worth it if you're not going to enjoy those things, right? It's not worth living life if you can't have some pasta, if you can't have some ice cream, if you can't have some chocolate, which is understandable to an extent, but I have a very mixed opinion on this. Because on one end, I totally get this, and I agree that we should be able to do anything we wish to do to like enjoy life. But on the other end, I just know that every day I cook for a video, every day I make something like this that's going to get me views and be popular. When I'm going to eat it, I'm going to feel like shit for the next 12 hours, maybe the next day. I'm going to feel lazy as fuck, and it's inevitable. This sugar, this is actually not bad because it's just, there's no extra sugar in it. It's chocolate mousse with only 85% dark chocolate and eggs. 2 ingredients. So it's not that bad because I made it healthy. That's what I try to do with my videos. Go check my Instagram. I try to replace the useless ingredients by healthy ingredients. So here I just didn't put sugar. I also didn't put cream and stuff like this because I wanted to make it as healthy as possible. But I just know that still it's chocolate, it's dark chocolate. It was probably processed in a factory that doesn't care much about the nutrients in raw fats. So the fats in the chocolate are definitely rancid, are definitely depleted of nutrients. So in the end, I'm just eating this fat-heavy food. There is 2 eggs, right? I mean, there's some protein, but it's going to be mostly fats that are depleted. The cocoa butter. That's the fats I'm talking about, the cocoa butter that's in the chocolate. Those are just going to slow down my metabolism and make me feel lazy, make me feel inflamed, and slow down my brain. And that's a good example, the chocolate one, because, I mean a bad example because it's not going to slow down my metabolism so much. But if I made the brownie like last time, my brownie video went super crazy. The dog is saying hi. And the thing with the brownie is I made it a little like extra gooey, right? And when it's extra gooey, extra delicious, extra Instagrammable, right? Extra sensational, it's also the most unhealthy because to make it so gooey, it's undercooked. It's like a chocolate lava cake, right? A chocolate lava cake is undercooked on purpose so that it's still runny. This brownie is undercooked. So there is flour in it that's raw. So this raw flour is going to slow down your metabolism because you're not able to digest it. See, there's a lot of things like this that nobody thinks about, that I just see because I paid attention. I'm a chef, right? I learned from some of the best places, some 5-star hotels in Paris, some Michelin star places. And I just saw, because I was trying to get fit, I started getting my 6-pack in those places. And I just looked at everything I was doing and understood that everything I'm cooking to sell, to make money for this business, those restaurants, is tasty things that are not healthy. Like, you might think you're going to an expensive restaurant, so it's super healthy, it's great ingredients, great products. But what you don't understand is the processing. Sure, you're making it extra tasty, you're making it a sensational culinary experience, right? A once-in-a-lifetime culinary experience, but you also completely depleted the product of its natural nutrients. It's depleted of fucking nutrients. So it's just the business of making super unhealthy food. So as I noticed that when I got into this business, I was in there and I was making this food that's unhealthy, that's going against what I'm trying to do myself. I'm trying to become fit and like self-improve, become a better person, just be more productive. It's just not possible if you're going to slow down yourself every time you eat, because you are what you eat. If you eat depleted food, you're going to be depleted. Your brain will not function at its best possibility. Your system will be inflamed, will be lazy. Like, I think laziness is truly a product of food only. Because I've experienced it myself. I was lazy for 20 years, right? I did nothing, I just played video games all the time. And then one day, I went to Sri Lanka in nature, and I was climbing fucking trees. It was the first time in my life I was active, and I realized it's because of the food I'm eating, and I'm not like eating my Nutella every day as I was back home. I'm not eating my fucking capitalistic buns depleted of fucking nutrients and full of sugar because it's industrial. So I wasn't eating this shit industrial food when I was in Sri Lanka because it's in the middle of nature. It's a poor country, you're eating straight from nature. And I was actually super active over there. Then I came back and I got back to this lazy lifestyle, to being a fucking video game addict, doing nothing, porn addict, staying at home, self-satisfying with the random dopamine I can get left and right, the chocolate, the Nutella, the pasteurized, sterilized milk. At the time, I didn't know about raw milk at all. I was just eating the pasteurized milk with my Nutella, which are both like foods in which you killed nutrients, you killed the healthy live bacteria in it, which are a great thing in what's like the bacteria in food, the natural bacteria in unpasteurized food, are a main actor in how you feel. You're supposed to eat raw things to connect yourself with nature. And every time it's literally nature's way to connect you with nature is you eat an apple in a tree, there's natural bacteria on this fucking apple that you're eating, and those bacteria get in your gut. And now you are literally nature. You have the same bacteria that nature around you has. But in this world today, people eat ultra-processed food, like 99% of the food in the supermarket is processed or ultra-processed, which means there's no bacteria on it. It's sterile. And so you are not eating anything that's connecting you to nature directly. And then if you're cooking some crazy things like I'm doing from Instagram, you are processing it yourself at home. It's not because you buy good products which have been unprocessed that you can just go home and process them, right? It's the same thing. You're going to have less extra chemicals in it, less extra unnecessary sugars because you're doing what you want at home. But you're still putting your own processing, right? You're cooking it. You might be cooking it twice. Maybe you're searing it on the pan and then into the oven. You might be making some caramel. Anything you can do at home, you're processing the food. So if you process it, you make some nice cake, you make some nice brownie, you make some nice cookies. You are making sterile food that's tasty because of the sugar and the fats, which are both addicting. But it's not nutritious at all. Even if you make some high protein cookies, it's not nutritious. I don't care about the percentage of protein there is. You can put 95% of protein in it. It's going to make you feel like shit because it's dead, it's dry, it's dead, and it has no life in it. And that's a great part of what's going to make you feel good. So that's what I don't like about this modern system and just even me making this food content. I understand that as humans, we want to get the tasty thing. But I also I know that anytime I'm going to do it, I will feel like shit straight after. So I'm contemplating, actually, maybe I'll do it for another 6 months to grow a big account because I'm gaining followers super fast. But at some point, I just know it's unhealthy. I just know anytime I'm going to do this, I'm going to slow down my metabolism on purpose. just because I'm making some tasty looking, beautiful food for Instagram, if I eat it, I'm going to slow down my metabolism and not be optimal on my self improvement, on my self development, on my brain, on trying to learn things. I'm trying to read more books and stuff and just introduce more knowledge into my business. But because I'm inflaming my brain every time I eat those kinds of foods, I can't do it to the best extent I can, right? If I was, I know all this because I've tried the carnivore diet myself. For 3 months, I was eating only meat and eggs. And I realized then that your brain is completely different without sugars in it. It's so important to know that if you've never experienced it, you don't know it, you might not believe it. I'm telling you from lived experience that your brain with sugar and rancid fats is nothing like your brain off sugar with zero sugar and a clean diet. Clean, not even just clean keto diet. Carnivore with zero sugar. The point here is just zero sugar. On a diet with zero sugar, your brain is so much more efficient. You get less tired, you need less sleep. You need less fucking sleep. I was sleeping 5 hours per night on carnivore diet and I felt great. I've never felt as good as when I was on this full carnivore diet. And it's not that I'm eating meat, right? It's not the meat that's the magic, right? It's the fact that you're not eating sugar and processed fats. That's what's really improving yourself, improving your brain. And I want you to really put an emphasis in your understanding, right? That it's not only about looking good, about your physique. I don't care about the physique, bro. The physique is a side effect of the mindset. It's what I've been saying, and I'll keep saying your physique is a side effect of your mindset. And my mindset right now is that I just made this super tasty food, but I really will regret eating it. Every time I know I'm going to eat it, I know I'm going to regret it. Because sure, it's tasty, but in the end, it's going to make me lazy and fall off and not as productive as I want. So I will never reach the potential I want because I will never be putting as much work as I would if I was off sugar to be more productive. If you're trying to be healthy, it doesn't only come from having a strict diet made by your nutritionist. Actually, nutritionists don't know fucking anything about what I'm saying right now. That all those sugars and rancid fats are making you lazy and slow down your brain. No nutritionist is talking about this. Except for the Instagram self-made nutritionists, which have went out there in the world to experience themselves life, right? Because the diploma fucking nutritionists, they don't know anything about this. And the raw ingredients, the raw bacteria on food, on raw foods, going into your system. Oh my God, that's the dog yawning. Can you hear it? Anyway, the raw bacteria is also a main fucking actor of how you feel. So if you eat food that's always ultra processed with no bacteria, sterile food, you will never feel like you're supposed to feel in nature. You're supposed to eat food straight from nature to get the bacteria straight from nature, to connect your body to nature. And you are not connected to nature at all if you just eat processed food all the time. And you, by the way, if you eat like 80% of what you eat is processed, you have a very weak bacterial microbiome in you. You are not connected to nature, even if you eat some organic fruits every once in a while. If a majority of what you eat is processed, you are not connected to nature at all because you should be having trillions and trillions more bacteria in your system by being connected to nature, and just by all this processing, you are not. So every time I'm cooking, I am making sterile foods, like just beautiful porn food. It's really porn food for Instagram, for views. But it's not really what I stand for, which is why every time I cook, I'm trying to make it healthy. You can see in my videos, I'm changing things that people tell me, why the fuck are you putting these ingredients when it's not necessary? Why the fuck the raw cream? It's unnecessary. Why the fuck the I don't know, the Parmesan cheese, right? It's because I'm trying to add raw products in my food. I'm trying to add healthy alternatives. And also sometimes it's just I'm going to still process it, the raw milk, for example, but it's still going to bring taste. You know, you're going to have benefits from raw ingredients all the time. But sometimes even with raw ingredients, you might still process them yourself and make them unhealthy. So that's what I wanted to say in this video, right? There's a big difference between like what people think is healthy and you know, balanced lifestyle of having a little bit of this, little bit of that, and what I truly know about food, which is that every time I'm going to allow this thing to happen, not just sweet things, but just any food I make for Instagram, like the fried chicken, for example, the burgers, the fucking confit potatoes. Every time I allow those things, those beautiful looking things that you might tell yourself are healthy because it's beautiful, it's not. Every time I'm going to allow it, I know that I won't be efficient today. I will slow down my metabolism. So one of the best tips I can give you right now, if you are going to eat like this, you know, allow tasty food during your day, you should do as I say to all my clients, and I just told you earlier in this video that you should make sure the morning and the lunch of your day, your breakfast and lunch, if you eat breakfast, I would advise you don't eat breakfast, you fast in the morning, and then your first meal of the day needs to be clean, something that would connect you with nature, like a steak with nothing else, a steak with animal fats. Keep it simple, because the least ingredients you put, the easier the digestion will be, and that's when you will feel the best. By the way, when you'll be fasted, your brain will work the best. Then you'll eat your steak being only one ingredient, will not slow down your metabolism, will not affect your brain too much. Actually, it might a little bit, depending on what the cow ate. If the cow was grain-fed, then there's going to be a decent amount of sugar in your meat, which then might make you feel a little bit lazy, a little brain fog might come up from this. But if it's a grass-fed cow, then all of a sudden it's different. You know, everything has an impact on everything. And people need to be aware of this more, which is my point here with this YouTube channel, with my Instagram. I'm trying to educate people on this. The people don't give a fuck about this. They just listen to the studies. The fucking studies made by listen to this, right? You're going to judge me because I will say the words billionaires, so you'll think I'm just saying some repetitive bullshit, but studies that have been funded by billionaires who are trying to sell their product, right? Most studies are like this, because to make studies, you need funding, you need to pay the scientists who are going to do it. And who does that? The people who have the money. But why would they fund studies? Because they have products themselves to sell. Look at fucking, the cosmetic business is a great example. The only people who pay for the doctors to tell you, look, 99% of doctors advise this cream. The only people who pay for those studies by 99% of doctors, are the cosmetic companies who are trying to sell their product. They need the studies to prove that their product is safe so that they can be allowed legally to sell it on high scale and make money from it. And this works the exact same way in the food business, in the science business, in anything, any business that has studies in it. The big studies are funded by people that have something to sell. So if you keep listening to the nutrition data that's out there, you're not getting pure data, because everything I'm telling you here about the raw foods, about the brain fog, about the slow down metabolism, is not very much studied. There's a little bit of study on it, but it's very small studies that don't have a lot of budget to them, and it's not a lot of studies. But it's true, everything I'm telling you, the brain fog is something very real that everyone experiences. The slowed down metabolism, the laziness, is very true. It's something that everyone experiences. And it's things that are not studied. So you can't be just listening to the fucking dumb studies made with the goal of selling you things. You need to be paying attention to things that 99% of people don't pay attention to, because the 99% are the people who just follow what the 1% is making them do, right? I'm getting fucking philosophical a little bit, but you need to open your mind more than this. If you're watching this video until this moment, because I've been yapping for a long time, then you're paying attention and it's great. Really, your health comes down to your kitchen and what you're doing, the processing and everything that you're doing yourself. It's not only the supermarket and the organic products that are healthy and the processed that are unhealthy. You might very well get only organic stuff from the supermarket and then go home and make it unhealthy yourself. It's much more complex than what they want you to think, right? So that's what I teach my clients in my program, and I'd be glad to help you with it. I want people to change their lives from it. I know myself that when I'm my most efficient, when I'm the most healthy, the most active I am, it's because my diet is locked in. I'm eating things that are going in the right direction. If I'm making those foods to grow my fucking food account and make views, right? Because it's very important. It's also, if you want to get a lot of views, you have to make this porn food. If you make the healthy food, nobody gives a shit. Especially because most of the time, the very healthy things are unprocessed. So you're not even cooking, right? You're eating the ingredient as is. So if you're not cooking, then there is no video to make, right? So if you want views, you have to make this bullshit. You have to make it unhealthy, and that's when your account grows, right? So I'm in a little dilemma right now that I know I should be making healthy stuff to feel better about myself. But I'm still going to make those videos to spread the message, to reach more people, although I'm still going to make those foods as healthy as possible. But I'm still going to produce all this content to get more people aware of this topic, that raw foods are the best, that processing is killing you, that fast in the commerce slow down your metabolism, give you cancer, that sugar slow down your metabolism, make you lazy as fuck, and stop your brain from working properly, and make you, quite literally, retarded. That's why the IQ overall is going down, it's because too much sugar in your brain. Alright, so anyway, if you're interested in learning more about this, you're welcome to book a call in the description. We can talk together to see if you'd be interested in this program, to learn more about it over a 3 to 6 months period. And you can otherwise just check my Instagram, press follow. By the way, press follow on the YouTube, very important. Let's grow this account to 100,000 viewers, followers on YouTube. And thanks for watching. Don't hesitate to check out all my Instagram videos to check the ingredients I'm using. You'll see that I'm trying to make everything healthier, as healthy as possible. Very important that even if you're going to make shit, you make your shit as healthy as possible. Not healthy, but just food that's working in your direction, right? You want to improve yourself, so the fuel that you're putting in your system should be helping you going into this direction. Not slowing you down by slowing your brain, right? Anyway, thanks for watching. Press follow on the YouTube. Check out the Instagram. Check out the TikTok, by the way. And I'll see you soon.